Hello, my name is Allison Brooks, and this is my Project 3 presentation for Math 810, Franklin University, Dr. Harris. The scenario for this project is that the CFO sent a summary of findings, and the CFO explained she won't support the budget increase because the main competitor, Zorafil, is forecasted to spend 8.5% less on advertising and marketing, and is on target to earn 7.5% more revenue. The CFO recommended that the budget be reduced to 4.5% of revenue to match what Zorafil has achieved. So to meet this goal, the proposed budget of $11 million needs to be reduced before next week's meeting with the CEO. As the regional marketing vice president overseeing all the marketing for international pharmaceutical distributor, my team has recently submitted a proposed budget for advertising and marketing spending for the upcoming year to support 10% annual revenue growth for the company's best-selling product, Dilomatics. So my project tasks are to analyze the data and uncover the story behind advertising spending and revenue for the brands and see if they're related or not. Write a managerial summary so I can justify the proposed advertising and marketing budget. Organize the summary in a way that provides a strong and coherent argument. This is Dilomatics' proposed marketing budget. Advertising and marketing spending for the proposed budget for the new year is $64,250,000. For the current year, it is $56,860,000, which is a 13% change. For product revenue, the proposed budget for next year is $1,164,471,000. And the current forecast for this year is $1,058,610,000, which is a 10% change. Marketing spending as percentage of revenue for the proposed budget for next year is 5.52%, and for this year is 5.37%. The current year financial forecast. For advertising and marketing, the total for Dilomatics is $56,850,000, and for Zorafil is $52,040,000. That is a negative 8.5% change. For product revenue, but Dilomatics is $1,058,610,000, and for Zorafil is $1,138,500,000. It's a 7.5% change. Marketing spending as percentage of revenue for Dilomatics is 5.37%, and for Zorafil is 4.57%. Look at the relationship between advertising and revenue for Dilomatics. You can look at this output from SAS and see that the R-squared value is 0.8095. This means 80.95% of the data fit the regression model. So there is a strong relationship between the advertising and revenue for Dilomatics. Here's the regression equation and the plot. Y equals 0.7432 plus 17.938x, which I got from the perimeter estimate below. And for the scatter plot, we can see it is showing data points close to the regression line. For the relationship between advertising revenue for Zorafil, looking at the SAS output on the right, we see that the R-squared value is 0.2752. This indicates that 27.52% of the data fits the regression model. So there's a strong relationship. Here's the regression equation and the plot for that. The plot shows that the data points do not appear to be close to the regression line. So in some cases, increased advertisement could have resulted in lesser revenue. The regression equation is y equals 10.383 plus 11.502x, which I got from the output below, from the perimeter estimates. Look at the multivariate relationship with Dilomatics revenue and the other variables provided, which is Dilomatics marketing spending, Zorafil's revenue, and Zorafil's marketing spending. There is a relationship with Dilomatics sales and some of the variables. For this, we looked at the hypothesis that Dilomatics advertisement coefficient equals 0, and the alternative hypothesis that Dilomatics advertisement coefficient did not equal 0. On the next slide, we will look at the output from SAS and see that the p-value is 0.001, which is less than alpha, so we reject the null. For the hypothesis of Zorafil advertisement coefficient equals 0, the alternative hypothesis would be Zorafil's advertisement coefficient does not equal 0. Looking in the next slide in the output from SAS, we will see the p-value is 0.5996, which is greater than alpha, so we fail to reject the null. Looking at the hypothesis that Zorafil revenue coefficient is 0, and the alternative hypothesis that Zorafil revenue coefficient is not equal to 0, we'll look at the output from SAS and see the p-value is 0.7893, which is greater than alpha, so we fail to reject the null. And we can see that output on the right with the p-values. This produced a multi-regression equation of y equals 0.377 plus 17.88x1 plus 0.863x2 minus 0.020x3. I received that from the perimeter estimates to the right. What percent of the variation in revenue does advertising and marketing spend? For both brands, you can explain it by referring to the output from question 1, which you see on the left. 0.8095 was found for the R-squared value of Dialymatics, so approximately 80%. For Zorafil, 0.2752 we see for the R-squared and 0.2607 for the adjusted R-squared, so approximately 27%. Based on my analysis, if both brands ceased all advertising and marketing spending, how much revenue would be lost? To find that value, I had to use the regression equation from number 1, y equals 0.7432 plus 17.938x. And using 0 for x, the answer was y equals 0.7432. I multiplied that by 52 and found the answer of 38.64. I subtracted that value from the original revenue amount. So the answer was $1,019,964,000 for Dialymatics. Using the regression equation from number 1, y equals 10.383 plus 11.502x, and using 0 for x, the answer was y equals 10.383. I then multiplied that by 52 and found the answer of 539.916. I subtracted that from the original revenue amount. So the answer was $598,598,000 for Zorafil. What impact will the CFO's proposed $11 million budget cut in the budget have on Dialymatics revenue next year? I found that by multiplying the slope 17.94 by negative 11 and interpreting how much that would be in millions. So the following answer was found, negative 197.34. There would be a decrease of 197 million. The summary and next steps. For this, the summary would be that the proposed cut is not recommended due to the loss in revenue. The amount lost is more than $11 million. Dialymatics revenue and Dialymatics advertising have a strong relationship. So some next steps may include persuading the CFO to keep the current budget for advertising and enhance marketing efforts to increase revenue, and also analyzing the competitor Zorafil's marketing and advertising strategies. Thank you for your time.